Welcome back to Where Tigers Walk. 20 more minutes of Hull City Chat. Great to have your company with us on this episode this week. We're recording this just before the midweek game against Derby, and what a huge game that is going to be. Why are we wobbling? Is it because we have blundered in the January transfer window? Not a single one of our new signings seems to have settled, and some are suggesting they've actually disrupted the harmony within the dressing room. What do we think to that? We've got Ben and Matty fresh back from their half-term trips this week to give their views on that QPR game and answer the question, have our January transfers messed up our season? Plus, we're also talking about our A to Z. We're up to letter Q this week. Who do we want coming up from League One? And, who has not been impressive in the last couple of weeks? Let's jump straight into it, shall we, Ben? Some of the tweets are saying all the same thing this week. Andy says, too pedestrian, no desire. I wonder, have the new signings disrupted the team spirit? What do you think?
I think there is an element of truth to that, because obviously we were flying before the January window and we'd got that run of wins going and the team seemed to be at a perfect level. But then all of a sudden there's more. I know they've brought experience. Some of them know the players that we already have, but they've sort of unsettled the amount of minutes that the players were having beforehand. I know that's sometimes down to the injuries that we've had, but it is difficult to fit in more new faces when we've already had new faces at the start of the season. But I do think that has a little bit of an effect on it, because when they've come on in the last few games, they've really not made much of an impact. And I know we were raving about Kumas when he scored on his debut, but I think we've probably got better options, i.e. Kyle Joseph, who hasn't really had much of a look in recently, to be honest.
A few other fans said that. Benches and Northern Boy says absolutely appalling. It's like the Sellers side of many of last season's performances. No one seemed to know what they were doing. We were so slow and predictable, and that's the word that keeps coming up, Matt. We are playing too one-dimensionally, and that teams are working us out. We've fallen a long way since that outstanding win at Preston. Yeah, Sellers like, is that too harsh?
I think it is a bit harsh, but yeah, I can see resemblances between performances. I think we're probably getting now to that business end of the season where it's probably we had a bit more freedom earlier in the season where we could go out and really go at teams, and now there is a bit more added pressure that we're in the playoffs and we have to stick in there, and probably is that element of fear of losing, I suppose, that's probably crept into us a little bit. We have gone away from that free-flowing football. I think the injuries have obviously disrupted that. I mean, we had Giles and Miller firing on that left-hand side. Giles has been out. It's kind of, since he's been out, it's really not, we haven't really had an outlet on that, on either side, to be honest. So I think there's an element of probably pressure. We have become a bit of a long ball team, and yeah, it's not great. But I think at this time of season, it's just a case of, like Saturday was probably, right, we haven't played really well, but let's just take a point and take that point and build on it, which to say, guys, either credit or detriment, he tried and changed it to go 4-4-2, and it cost us in the end when we should have just stick with it and taken the point and moved on. But yeah, it's not as free flowing as what it was earlier in the season. That is for certain. Yeah.
Staying with you, Matty, about this January transfer one. Lewis says, I'm not convinced by any of the January transfers. Lundstrom is, not very good. Not very good either. He's becoming a bit of a poster boy for the blame at the moment. In some games, Lundstrom is he really that bad?
Yeah, he has been. He has been, and he'll probably hold his hand up. But again, give it a context with him. He's come back. What is he? Was he 2 months? Was he out? He's been out for 2 months. When he started, he was on fire, and everybody was more. Oh, when Lundstrom comes back, we'll be on fire. It's the same with Crooks at the moment. Oh, once we get Crooks back, we'll all be all right and stuff like that. So there's always somebody that we're trying to put the blame on. He has been poor. He has been poor since he's come back. And Saturday was probably his worst game. I mean, he didn't even start the day. He just came on. He gave the ball away so many times, and he was pinging that ball out and finding our wingers before, and yeah, he's not as good. And just touching on what Ben said about Joseph, could you believe that we're actually calling for Joseph to be in the team? This time last year we were calling for him not to be in the team, but we miss his energy. We just miss his energy around the pitch, closing people down, making those runs. Yeah, it's still not great, but I think we do miss that a little bit. But yeah, Lundstrom's been poor. Dowell's been poor. Kumas had one good game. McNair was half decent on his debut, but he was shocking Saturday. So it hasn't been great, has it, since the signs are coming in. But we've got to give it a bit of time, I suppose, for them to settle. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom.
No, we're still in the playoffs. We're still got a bit of a gap to 7th in Birmingham, but I mean, you've seen the momentum. It's all about momentum, isn't it? At the end of the season, and one team always sneaks in. We talk Pandor, Ben. I know it's your favourite topic on this podcast. Jordan says, please drop Pandor. He looks like he's never kicked a ball every single game. And if you want to pay me, I'll hoof the ball like Lundstrom does as well. Here we go again.
It's difficult though, isn't it? Because I think I don't think we've got a second choice keeper that's good enough to compete on the same level that Pandor does. And if he
is that the problem though? Do you think that's the problem? Sorry to interrupt. That he hasn't got competition.
Yeah, I think it probably is, to be honest, because last season we saw such a high quality of his performances, and that was, you'd think, down to the fact that he had someone like Carl Rushworth behind him as a second choice, keeping him out and keeping the number one shirt. But this season, it's almost like it's too easy for him to make a mistake, because if he makes a mistake, he's guaranteed to play the next week, and it's difficult. Like you've said, there's not much competition in terms of the second choice goalkeeper, and we've got no one other than Dylan Phillips, who's not really done great. I mean, he was okay against Blackburn in the FA Cup, obviously got us through that by saving the penalties, but against Chelsea he was a bit flapping for the crosses that came in for the corners, and like Pandor does when he flaps at crosses that comes in, it's just, yeah, I mean, I think that's probably, if there was one area that is our main concern, it's probably goalkeeper. I know Pandor has done well for us last season. He was player of the season, and this season he's had a good-ish first half, but recently he has made a lot of mistakes, and it's that distribution is just, there's sometimes when the ball comes to him and it just looks like it's a lazy half-arsed clearance or pass out, and it goes straight back to the opposition.
Yeah. Matt, what do you think?
I think for me, Pandor starts every week. He's for me, he's first on team sheet. Yeah, he's going through a bit of a bad spell. His distribution is poor. It's not the great. It's not up there, is it? But the amount of times he's bailed us out last season, he's bailed us out so many times this season. He is still a quality goalkeeper. I think he probably just suffers a little bit with confidence in his back four, playing it out to them. I think you can see on the touchline when they do kind of go back to Sellers and Rossini of playing back inside and play back to goalkeeper, he's furious. He doesn't want that to happen. He wants the ball to go forward. But I think they're just suffering a little bit. They're all suffering a little bit of confidence, aren't they, at the back? So, but for me, he's still a quality, shot stopper. I think somebody was criticising him for Saturday, saying he should have saved the second one, but. Come on, he was a good striker. He can't save everything, and he has kept us in so many games last season, this season. But for me, he's got to stay in the team. Like Ben says, Phillips is just not an alternative whatsoever.
Let us know your thoughts. By the way, we had some great comments last week. We'll show a couple of them in a second. We're growing a nice little community here. So if you've only just come across the channel, then welcome. This is 20 minutes of Hull City chat, usually out on a Monday, a little later this week due to half-term breaks for most people. So yeah, we're catching up on ourselves, and like I say, we're recording this before the Derby game, which is where we turn our attention to now. This one, sorry, not that one. Oh, I've got this one here. Oh no, laughable. This one from Leighton, laughable performance. Honestly, keep this up and we say goodbye to the playoffs, Ben. We aren't ready for them anyway. We need another year with this squad. I mean, obviously, no one's gonna not say no to them given we in them. But is he got a point? Are we overachieving this season with this squad?
I think we are. We're definitely overachieving our aims at the start of the season when we went over our predictions was probably like very high mid-table at the most. And to be where we are at this part of the season is a massive overachievement. But if you do think about the teams that will come down next season and say we have another year and go for it next year, it's going to be a lot tougher, and the league is going to be a lot more competitive next season. This season is probably our best chance, and I think it's like Matty said, that the confidence has dropped because they've had a poor run of games, and all of the top teams around us have had that run of games. It's just getting through it and then building on it on the other side of that, making sure we get a couple of wins in the next few games because they are really, really difficult.
Yeah. Okay. Matty, what about you? Would you, I mean, I know you take playoffs now, but do you think it's just coming maybe 12 months too early?
I think if you throw everything that was kind of, we said at the beginning of the season, transfer embargo, free transfers, everything, we would never ever have dreamed that we would be in the playoffs. But we are there now. We are, and we're there on merit. You know, we've played well up to Christmas, and we're just going through this little bit of a dip. And like Ben says, all those teams, look at Coventry, they were panicking because, you know, they were going to be in the playoffs and they won 2 games, and now they're back in for automatic promotion. I think it's this part of the season where it's just about winning now. It doesn't matter how we perform, how you play. It's just about picking up points, and I think that's what we need to do. And I think that's probably being a bit detrimental towards our style of play of football, is that we've gone a bit more insular and we've right, we want to just get a point, and you know, we haven't expressed ourselves a bit more. But that's all that we need to do. Is Derby's a massive game. If we can get 3 points there, I think it'll massively help us. And then obviously playing away from home, we're being better anyway. So a trip to Portsmouth, it isn't going to be easy, but it's a good opportunity there to cement our place in the playoffs. So just win ugly. We aren't bothered. Just win ugly. Don't care how it goes in.
Of course, this time last year, this same fixture was a 6-pointer, Ben, when we were all putting pressure on that we must beat Derby, and of course, you know what came to pass then. Do you see them as genuine playoff rivals, or do you expect they'll fade away?
I mean, I don't see why not. I think they've obviously got a good manager, and he's got the players that he wants. He's got a very strong core of ex-Blackburn players with likes of Travis and Smodics there as well. And they're top level players. Aguiman as well has been scoring loads recently. So I don't see why they can't keep it up. It's like City, they've not got what you'd expect to be a top level squad, but they're there and they're thereabouts, and they're constantly challenging, getting results against tough sides. So yeah, I don't see why they can't end up pushing for top 6, to be honest.
Yeah. And then Pompey at the weekend, Matt, which we'll review next week. Unfortunately for you, just another team just in a bit of resurgence, and with Ebu Adams in the midfield, he is absolutely running that midfield for that side now. So keep him quiet. Someone's going to have to do a job on him.
Yeah. Who? Who? Slater. Put Slater on every man. He'll do a job with everybody. Yeah, like I said, I think the pressure will kind of go off us then. I suppose a little bit playing away from home. I don't know. We've talked about this for the last 3 seasons. And this wretched home form at the beginning of this run, we were saying, you know, if we could pick up 9 points, we'd be well happy. And what have we picked up? 1 or 2? It's just not been good enough, has it? So. Maybe the pressure will just go off them a little bit, playing away for on Saturday. So, but I can see us going and getting a result there. You know, as we usually do, play reasonably well away from home. But you know, like we say, doesn't matter, Mark. However we win, let's just win. Let's just get there, win last minute. However, it doesn't matter. Shut up shot, score in first minute, whatever. No, just get a win.
This week across the network, we're talking about promotions, and this one we're focusing on League One this week. So, looking across League One, presuming that we stay here for another year, which away trip would you most like to be in the Championship next season that perhaps you haven't had for a while, or haven't done before? Any ones stand out for you?
I think I'd probably go for Stockport, because obviously they were challenging last season and didn't quite make it, but I think obviously it's a new away ground. There's a lot of teams that have been in the Championship that are still up towards the top recently. So, yeah, I'd go for Stockport, to be honest.
Yeah. Matty, any?
Well, I think Lincoln's a right shout, isn't it? You know, I think back in the day when we were down in League One and League Two, we did have some good ding dongs against Lincoln. So Lincoln's not a bad shout. It's a proper old-fashioned ground, isn't it? So which is great. And for me, anybody close by, so Lincoln, Bradford would be a great shout as well. And I know Huddersfield are kind of teetering up there as well. So, but it looks like Cardiff are running away with it at the minute. But yeah, Lincoln or Bradford for me would be a good shout. It's just another localish derby, isn't it? So, or localish game that you can probably get to and play against.
Because we've lost one now, haven't we?
With what? Sorry,
we've lost one now. Chef Wednesday.
Well, yeah, we have, haven't we? Yeah. So
had to bring that up.
Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. Of course you did.
Yeah, we still got them to play. We still got them to play. So don't curse it, Ben.
Right. Thanks for your comments last week. I just want to shout out Mark Brady, sorry, 95+1. Yeah, he made a point on Coyle last week. If you agree with this, he said, no club in this player should hand out 4-year contracts. I like Coyle as a player, he does great work in the community, but let's say we get promoted this season. Does he get in the first 11? Not a chance. Yeah, you're probably all nodding along with it. So thank you, Mark, for pointing that out. Let us know your thoughts on all the above. Are the January transfers have been disruptive to this team? Let us know your thoughts on that. It's a Q in our A to Z, of course, this week as well. Have you got any good ones here, fellas?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the standout things would be the quarter final of the FA Cup against Sunderland. I think we had a relatively easiest run up to that point, but then obviously coming across Sunderland in a Premier League team in the time in that quarter final at home, and the atmosphere was absolutely electric, even, and then just to win so comfortably as well was just amazing, and just set up the semi-final against Sheffield United. But yeah, I think that quarter final was probably easier than was expected at the time. I thought it was going to be a really tough quarter final, but we're getting through there and then setting us up for that semi-final was amazing. A great atmosphere, great game, great performance all round by us. So yeah, it's probably up there as one of the best performances I've seen, or best atmospheres I've seen at the MKM. So yeah.
Okay. Ben, anything to add to that?
I think the only other thing I can think of is Stephen Quinn for a Q. My mum used to call him Quiniesta, so I'm going to take that he was a very, very good player for us. But yeah, he was quality for us. I know he's been good for other teams as well. But yeah, in terms of Q, there's not much other than quarterfinal of the FA Cup, and that's it, I think.
Quinn and Stephen Quinn scored in the semi-final against Sheffield United as well. Scored a header in the semi-final as well. So he's a good shout, and he was very, like I say, he's a very good player. But yeah, quarter-final was something special on that day.
We will put the quarter-final against Sunderland into the A to Z of Tigers work on Hull City. Thank you very much, fellas. Next week, good news, you have a nice easy run now of R and then S and then T, so you can relax a little bit for a while. Cheers. Thank you very much. We've also been talking about whether football is being fallen out of love with by fans. So next week we'll get your thoughts on that. Generally, there's been articles around whether we're falling out of love with football in the modern day, but get your thinking out of that. We'll have a debate on that next week. Plus, we'll also review the Pompey game and, of course, the Derby game, and look forward to listening to what they've got for the letter R. Thank you so much. We'll also want referees next week as well. Who's the worst, who's the best we've ever had. Join us for that debate. Great to have your company with us this week. Thank you so much. Drop us a sub if you haven't already done so. 20 minutes of Hull City chat every single week. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.